Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Yes, hello, I'm back. Hi, guys, Dave, and who else? Robert, of course, and War Dog. Welcome to the very first show of 2024. That's right. I can't believe it. We are in 2024. I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody had a fantastic new year. Mine was quiet. I had planned a road trip and then finances were a little tight, and I'm actually really glad that I didn't take that particular road trip. And I'll tell you why in just a couple of minutes, but let's get into some other cool stuff. Let's see. Okay. So you guys are all lucky that I'm here. Yes, that's right. You guys are awesome, Dave. That's right. The faithful, the true, the proud. Although I do have a sneaking suspicion that some people will show up after the seventh rule. I just noticed that 455 Films is over there, so I'm gonna have to tell Dave Sapone that from 455 Films I'm next. Hey Jeannie, hey Jeannie, how are you? Glad to see Janine. Sorry, glad to see everybody's here. Like Dave said, the faithful, the true, the proud, the Chat Pack 2.0. But you guys are lucky I'm here because you know what? The James Cromwell episode of Night Court started at 9:30, and of course, I stop what I'm doing around a quarter of to come up to the office and get everything situated for the show. So I was like, oh man, I love the James Cromwell episode of Night Court. I always forget whenever I talk about Star Trek people that have been in Night Court. I'm terrible. I always forget that Zefram Cochrane was also in Night Court and he was hysterical. Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there that you guys are lucky that I'm here. Okay. So the reason that I'm glad I canceled my New Year's trip is because I was going to go to State College, PA, and hang out with all my friends, which is not quite a tradition. I do it when I can. I don't do it every year, but I have been known to go up there for New Year's Eve. But I'm glad I didn't because I don't like to wear out my welcome because I'm going up there next week. I'm going to be up there from Tuesday through at least Friday. And why? Because JG Hertzler is also going to be there Tuesday through Friday. Finally got the timing down. He is going to be doing the audio version of his book with my friend Roy, who pops in every now and then. Who is his profession is sound engineer. He's going to be doing JG's audiobook. So, damn, I have my copy downstairs. I was going to show all y'all and I forgot it. I just got my copy. Amazon took forever to get it to me, but I just got my copy the other day, in hardback, and soon there will be an audio version for everybody who wants to hear JG tell you all about his life. So you can take that JG voice out of your head when you're reading and actually have it come through on your Amazon or Google devices. So I'm really excited to go up there, kind of maybe experience what it's like to see somebody do an audiobook. So that's happening. So the drawback to that is that I am more than likely leaving next Monday night. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do about the show yet, but it won't be live unless you guys all want to come with me on my road trip. Could do a live stream from my car and just talk to you on the road. You know what? That could actually happen. You never know. You guys could hang out with me in the car. I could play some Star Trek music in the background. You guys could hang out with me while I'm driving up there. And we'll see. It depends. I guess a lot of it depends on when I actually get on the road. But yeah, I want to leave on Monday night so that I'm there on Tuesday. So that does it for, one more personal thing, and then we will move on to what's going on with Trek for 2024. Jober! Oh, thank you for dragging yourself as far out of your sick bed as it took you to get onto whatever device you're watching me from and coming. Thank you. How did the second trials go? You were just doing Olympic trials not too long ago. Hi, Joshua. Thanks for joining. So glad to see you here. The one other thing I wanted to do before we moved into the topic for tonight, some of you might have seen the posts. Oh, did I miss Travis popping in? Hey, Travis. Sorry. Oh, there you are. Sorry, Travis. Sorry I missed you. Thanks, War Dog, for saying hi to Travis so that I can notice that he's here. Yeah, road trip. So some of you might have seen me posting about my cat Drew. He had to have all of his teeth removed. And the rescue that I got him from, they covered the first half. My vet is awesome, and he wanted to do it in 2 stages because he felt that was easier for the healing process, and a little less of a shock to Drew. So he had the first procedure done back in November, and then all of a sudden, the rescue decided it was too expensive and they weren't going to help me much for the second procedure. And I went back and forth with them and back and forth with them. And they ended up saying that they were going to contribute part of it, but not all of it. So I put up my very first full-fledged GoFundMe for Drew, and a lot of the funding came from some amazing members of the Trek community. So big shout out to everybody that either just sent warm thoughts for Drew or was able to donate a little bit to the GoFundMe. But the GoFundMe covered absolutely all of my costs because, again, my vet is freaking awesome. And he actually came in below the lowest estimate. When he gave me the estimate, there was a low and a high, and he came in under the low estimate. So it worked out really well. And I learned something for all of you cat owners out there. I've learned something. There's 2 ways to pull a cat's teeth. And of course, with Drew needing all of them pulled, there's a surgical way to like cut into, like he opens up the gum and exposes the whole thing. So he kind of removes the teeth from the mandible while they're, like kind of sitting there, but he exposes everything so he can remove it, kind of like pulling ribs apart, I guess, where you go. Sorry if anybody out there is squeamish. And that actually is less invasive, less painful. He does it, then he stitches the gum back together and he's done. The other way is like when you go to the dentist and they clamp a vise onto your tooth and they go and yank it. Could you imagine if somebody did that to your entire mouth? Like, even if you were out, even if you were under anesthetic and they did that to your entire mouth, can you imagine how much more messed up your mouth would be? Plus the risk of leaving little bits and pieces of tooth behind in your jaw. So if you ever need to have multiple teeth removed on an animal, find out about what procedure they use, because the rescue was trying to get me to drive. I picked him up. I did a long distance adoption because Drew was exactly what I wanted, a Siamese cat with FIV. And he was the only one in the area. Right. He was the only one in the area. And so he was an hour away. I don't have a problem driving over an hour to go adopt an animal. I have a problem driving over an hour, not being able to go to work, and then taking him to a vet that I don't know. So I argued with them about not going up to see their vet, and their argument was, well, our vet came in about half price of what your vet's lowest estimate is. And the big difference in the pricing was how much the cost was per tooth. My vet charged about $100 to $120 per tooth because of the procedure that he used, where their vet was charging $25 per tooth. Well, it's a lot easier to charge $25 per tooth if all you're going to do is sit there with a pair of pliers and yank them out. Bits and pieces of tooth and jaw. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, yeah. So if you ever have an animal that needs to have its teeth extracted, ask them how they're going to do it, because that's why those quotes were so different, because the areas were similar as far as, like sometimes, some areas are a little more expensive than others. So the demographic was pretty similar between my vet and their vet. And yeah, but to come in at $25 a tooth, it's because that they weren't going to do the surgical procedure that would have, been much. I mean, Drew went after the hard food the same day I brought him home. So you can, that also helps. He wasn't feeling no pain. He was on opioids for 3 days. But even then, during the healing process, even after all of the pain meds wore off, he was right back at the food. He was sore, but he wasn't, mangled. His mouth wasn't mangled. It was surgically done. So yeah, that is my PSA for the night. Anybody who owns an animal, if your animal ever needs to get their teeth pulled, find out what the procedure is behind it. If it's the surgical way, or if they're just going to yank it. Maybe for one tooth it's okay, but like I said, a whole mouth, it needed to happen the way my vet did it. And if anybody's ever in South Jersey looking for a vet, hit me up, because I'll tell you exactly where to go, because my vet obviously is really awesome. But Drew's doing really well. He's completely recovered. He eats hard food and soft food, and yeah, basically a gum flap tooth extraction. It's exactly what it is. They cut the gum and they fold it down so that they can get at all the teeth right at the base of the tooth where it meets the mandible. I'm excited because I was talking to somebody the other night about, and I actually remembered the word for this bone is mandible. So now I'm using it whenever I can. But yeah, this bone is a mandible. These bones are mandibles. Anyway, so that's it for Stephanie and her vet, her vet talk of the evening. I don't know if you guys are ever going to see Drew, but he is doing really well and he's around. And if he ever wanders in, I promise that I'll introduce you guys to him. And thanks, Dave. Yeah, he's doing really well. The surgery was actually the 19th of December, so it was the day after my last show. So yeah, he's pretty much healed. He's doing really well. And just for the record, his name is Drue because he is named, believe it or not, I think I mentioned this before. He's named after a character in Wonder Woman. And again, where's Lasso when I need him? He's named after Drusilla, who was Wonder Woman's sister in the Linda Carter in the Linda Carter series. That was Drusilla. And since he's a boy, I can't name him Drusilla, but I'll name him Drew. But it's Dru for Drew. And my phone still hasn't learned it yet. Waiting for my phone to learn how to spell Drew properly. Okay, now it is time to move into what is going on with Trek in 2024. Well, I can tell you that there are going to be a couple of really awesome virtual events. One of them is right down here, and it is this Saturday. I hope you all saved the date for when John and Bonnie were here, because it is this Saturday. Yeah, no kidding, Dave. That's okay. That's okay. You didn't know. When people don't know, I'm cool with telling you. So, thank you. Yeah, there's a story behind it. The last one, I have a story behind why I named him Drew. That you guys wouldn't think is funny as he and I do, because it's an inside joke. Anyway, Trek Talks is this Saturday. 8 hours of nothing but awesome Trek. Live panels, taped panels, music, Billingsley, Bonnie Gordon, head-to-head, going at it, being the hosts with the mosts, and all to help support the Hollywood Food Coalition. If you want to learn more about the Hollywood Food Coalition after tonight, go back and check out a couple weeks ago when I had Bonnie, the beginning of December when I had Bonnie and John on here. That is pretty much all we talked about was the Hollywood Food Coalition. So if you missed that episode, please go back and watch some of it. It will give you the entire overview of what the Hollywood Food Coalition is about, and you will want to go to Trek Talks, because it is literally just a Trektastic 8 hours, all geared towards supporting the Hollywood Food Coalition. So far, pretty much everybody they ask says yes. So you have got celebrities from across the Star Trek universe. Exactly, Trektivism. You got that right, Trektivism. For those of you that don't know that phrase, or that new phrase, it's all about the Trek community and how the Trek community always wants to get involved and work for that better future that Star Trek has promised us. Well, the only way we're going to get there is if we work at it. There you go. Boy, there's actually a new podcast, a new Trektivism podcast. I'll share that information at some point. I've got my friends are doing it, and I found out about it actually at STLV, and they finally launched. So congratulations to Heather and everybody over at the Trektivism podcast. It's going to be coming our way very, very soon. The other very cool thing that is happening just about a month. It's like back to back. We got Trek Talks in January, and then in February, from February 15th to the 19th, it's virtual TrekCon 5. Can you believe they've done it 5 times? It started over COVID, and it has grown into this annual event that now includes the Lappy Awards. And I hope everybody has gone and voted for the Lappy Awards. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a full virtual a full virtual TrekCon. And then on top of that, on Sunday the 18th is when they're going to do the 2024 Lappy Awards, which is the Star Trek Awards voted on by us, the amazing fans. So let's go and, everybody go and root for all the Enterprise stuff. And hopefully people actually voted for Enterprise stuff. So that's what's going on in the virtual world. What is going on in the television world? Everybody needs to be ready to renew their Paramount Plus subscriptions if they are only using them during Star Trek times, because in April of 2024, that is when we get our very final season of Star Trek Discovery. It's ready. It's going. It's only a couple months away. I can't believe it. It's a couple months away. It's happening the same month that the Shuttle Pod Show Live is happening. But I think we can make room for Shuttle Pod Show Live and Star Trek Discovery. What I gleaned from a couple of things that I read is it's going to be a quote unquote epic adventure across the galaxy. So it's serialized. It's about some entity that's some very powerful entity that's been trying to stay hidden, and now everybody, I guess, is looking for it. David Ajala is returning, which he's still my heart. I love David Ajala. I've met him a couple times. I want to get him on the show if he didn't live in England, because y'all know that I love to do live, but living in England, I have a feeling unless I can get him to stay up till, actually, I don't even need to guess. Hold on. This is what happens when you start making friends through Star Trek. You end up having friends that live all across the globe. I have a friend that lives in Sydney, and it was so fun to wish him Happy New Year. It was still very much 2023. But in Sydney, it was well into the first day of 2024. Yeah, it's 3:17 a.m. right now in London. So I don't know, unless David Ajala is a massive night owl or I send him a big Starbucks gift card. I don't know if he'll stay up to do a live show, but I would love to get David Ajala on. So anyway, so Disco is going to be serialized again. And obviously it has gone 5 seasons, but so it's been on technically longer than Enterprise, but if you count episodes, Enterprise probably still has more episodes, only doing 4 seasons, because there was like 20 episodes. There you go. Right, exactly. If you can't beat them, bribe them. Yeah, exactly. I will send you as much Starbucks as you want if you will please come on my show at 3:00 in the morning. So Enterprise still might have had a shorter run, but technically more episodes. So is that a longer run because it was more episodes? I don't know. But that's how I'm looking at it, is that Enterprise still has more. If Enterprise still has more episodes than Disco, I will be happy. Sorry. Strange New Worlds. Production has started. Once again, yes. Yeah, there you go. David, he is such a sweetheart. He's so much fun. And I actually told him the first time that I met David, I told him I saw the 8x10 he had from Supergirl because he was Manchester Black, which I had completely forgotten about. I said, "Oh, that's right, you were Manchester Black." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I was back when Supergirl was good." He laughed. Supergirl went downhill really fast, in my humble opinion. I watched all of it because back then, if you wanted a DC fix, the CW was the place to be, but they all kind of jumped the shark and just kept on. Flash, oh my God, jumped the shark and just kept on going. So Strange New Worlds, they have started filming, and it's only going to be another 10 episode season, but they are back on set doing their thing. While Prodigy season 2 is done, it's been scored, it's ready to go at some point in 2024. It's another 20 episode season. Whether or not Netflix will split it or run or just give us all 20, who knows? I don't know. I'm not, you know what? I don't know how Netflix really works with their episodic stuff, or not episodic. I'm sorry, with their original programming. I mean, yeah, it's like one a week, but I've never known them to do one a week, and then, oh, we're going to take a break for a while and then we'll go back. So we might actually get all 20 episodes in a straight line with no breaks, which would be great. So that is definitely coming in 2024. We just don't know when. And as far as Lower Decks is concerned, they are back in the recording studio. So people are getting in front of the mics and they are doing their thing. They had started working and then the strike happened. So then they had to, I guess they had to stop, or they chose to stop, because I'm not sure voice work. I don't believe voice work is actually part of the strike, but it's entirely possible, in solidarity to the rest of the Star Trek brethren, that they stopped production. Mike McMahon, when he was at New York Comic-Con, had mentioned at that point he was writing the script for the season finale, and he promised that next year is going to be awesome. How could it not be awesome? It's Star Trek Lower Decks, and we all love Star Trek Lower Decks. I usually don't go back and rewatch things. It takes a lot, like Enterprise, obviously I've watched it over and over and over again. It takes a lot for me to want to really go back and sit down and rewatch something, but Lower Decks might not be a bad thing. The Doctor Who, the three-tiered Christmas, or not, sorry, not Christmas, the three-tiered 60th anniversary thing that they did, I keep telling myself I really want to go back and sit down and rewatch it because David Tennant. And I wouldn't mind rewatching it. And anybody that watched the Doctor Who Christmas special, that was awesome. I am loving the new Doctor. They missed a perfect opportunity to make a reference to a Christopher Eccleston episode, and I'll talk about that maybe after I talk about the last thing that is so important for 2024. And the one thing I forgot to freaking look up. Oh, wait, I can do it right here. Okay. So, live events, because that is really the bread and butter of a Star Trek season, especially in the springtime. I mean, obviously, we've got the cruise coming up. But for me, the cruise is coming up the end of February once again. But the big ones for me, obviously, March is going to be Creation's first San Francisco Star Trek. That's happening in March. I think it's, I want to say the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Would love to go if somebody dropped the money in my lap. If I play the lottery and win $800 million, then obviously I would be there. I don't. So right now, can't do San Francisco because come April 12th, 13th, and 14th is Shuttle Pod Show Live, which is what I am planning on going to. I would love to get back to San Francisco, but I do love LA, and I love the time that I spend in LA, and I have so many awesome friends in LA that if I had to pick and choose, I'd pick LA, so I'm picking LA. Then in May, we got a couple of things happen in May. The weekend of the 17th, 18th, and 19th, Trek Condoroga has moved. Trek Condoroga used to be couple weeks. Yeah, it was very good. Trek Condoroga moved. Trek Condoroga was usually a couple weeks after STLV. And I don't know why. I haven't talked to them, but they decided to make it mid-May, which is great because it was always so hard to go because I usually spend extra time in Vegas, and I was supposed to go up there last year. I had a booth lined up for the show, and I was supposed to go last year, and then I pulled out because I realized with my job, I had just come back, and I came back on a Tuesday. So I was going to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then want to jump in the car and drive up to Ticonderoga the following Thursday. So I had to pull out. So I'm looking forward to this because I can do that. And then a couple weeks later, JG and I, among many other fantastic people, for May 31st and then 1st and 2nd of June, we're all going to be at Trek Long Island. And that's going to be freaking awesome. So many fantastic people. Bonnie Gordon's been invited back this year. They've got Ethan Phillips is going to be there. Chase Masterson's they have a big DS9 thing. JG's going to be there. And all of the proceeds, they have an auction, and all of the proceeds of the auction are going to go to Pop Culture Hero Coalition for Chase. So that's going to be freaking fantastic. And I love working with Stephanie Gangon. She's fabulous. So I love helping her out outside of just working with JG. So that's all happening in May. And then we're going to take a little bit of a breath, and then this is one that changed its dates, and I'm not real thrilled about it because I don't know if I can make it, but Shore Leave is happening the 26th, 27th, and 28th of July, and I usually go. That's how I met Peter Macon. I worked with him last year. I love Shore Leave. It's a fantastic event, but their home closed. The Delta Hotel in Maryland, in Hunt Valley, Maryland, closed, just done. So they had to find a new venue. Well, they did. They found a new venue, which is kind of better. Like, I like it better because it's in Lancaster, PA, which is a lot easier for me to get to because it's literally, I don't live that far from the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and then it's just go west, young woman, and you're there. The problem is it is the weekend that I usually leave for Las Vegas because I like to get to Vegas early. So it's the 26th, 27th, and 28th, which puts it smack dab, literally have to change my plans and leave for, I was actually looking if there was a way to leave for Vegas on Sunday night without having to come home again, but there's really not. So I don't know. I have to decide what's going on with Las Vegas. I did book a room. Ironically, this is the first time I've remembered to book a room before they sold out, and I was begging the guy that runs the convention to help me out, which he's done. He's awesome, and he's totally helped me out. But this year I remembered, and now I may have to give the room up and not go. And then, of course, right after that, it's Star Trek Las Vegas. Yeah, it's right up against it. Like I said, I usually leave. It's the weekend before, and I'm usually already in Vegas that weekend. If not Friday, Saturday, like this year, like that Saturday of July, I was already in Vegas. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Mid-May is not bad for Trek Conderoga. You should, Dave. You should definitely do, because Trek Conderoga right now, they've got Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, Walter Koenig, Brent Spiner, Walter Koenig, and Terry Metalis. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. I don't know why, but I really, 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 really feel like I'm missing somebody. You know what? I'm just going to go look, because anybody that wants to find out more about Star Trek. That's what I was looking for. Anybody that doesn't know, if you want to find Trek Conderoga, the website is actually StarTrekTour.com. That's StarTrekTour.com is the website, because nope, I'm not missing anybody. In fact, Terry's off the website now. That's interesting. Maybe he changed his mind. Sugar. All right, right now Terry's gone, and now it's just Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, and Walter Koenig. But anyway, so if you're interested in getting tickets or checking out about Trek Conderoga, it's StarTrekSetTour.com, because they have more than one. And this year in July, Shatner's heading back up there. Shatner's going back for July 12th, 13th, and 14th. But I'm going to say this. I love everybody that runs Trek Conderoga. James Crawley's fantastic. Mary Beth, who works with him, Dennis. I adore them all. Ticonderoga is about this big. It's known for pencils and a fort. There is absolutely nothing else to do in Ticonderoga for a Star Trek person, or anybody really, unless you're, except the set tour and the fort. So to go up for Shatner weekend, if I was going to make that trek, haha, pun intended, up there, I would be doing it for, I'd do it for Trek Conderoga and not Shatner. I'm just saying, I mean, if you're a huge Shatner fan, it's totally worth it, because people there's one bar. It's across the street from the set tour. People hang out in the bar. You see Shatner. So, I mean, if you're a huge enough Shatner fan, then yeah, it's worth it. But there's really not anything else to do except the set tour and Shatner. So at least with Trek Conderoga, they turn the high school into their little convention center, and the gym is where the vendors hang out, and then there's panels on on the stage in the high school. So, what did you think of the rewatch of Strange New World season 2? Robert would love to hear that. And then of course we've got STLV, which is starting on my birthday this year. Starts on Thursday, August 1st. Thank you, leap year, because this is a leap year. That's why it, so I'm really looking forward. I love the fact that it's over my birthday. The 1 year that it wasn't, there's 1 year COVID that I missed it, it would have been over my birthday. And then the year we were in Bally's was weeks after my birthday. So I love celebrating my birthday in Vegas with all of my friends and going to Gordon Ramsay restaurants. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to Trek, because I haven't gotten picked to sing for 2 years in Star Trek karaoke. Damned if I am not going to be like, it's my birthday, Enterprise karaoke, it's my birthday, I'm freaking singing. I will pull that card with whomever's doing whoever's picking the names. When Connor was picking the names, it was a no-brainer, but Connor doesn't pick the names anymore. At least he hasn't for the last 2 years, hence why I haven't gotten to sing, because when it comes to Connor, it's really easy. Yeah, exactly. Another birthday, because you know what? The 7th rule rocks, and last year us Leos all got cupcakes for our birthday. So only, it helps that Sirach's birthday's August 17th. So they always like to celebrate Sirach's birthday. So all the rest of us Leos get to bask in the glory of the fact that Sirach is one of us. And they celebrate his birthday. So the rest of us get to fall in with that. Dave, you've never heard me sing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do. I do Where My Heart Will Take Me. Except 1 year that I decided to do Lady Gaga, and as much fun as everybody had on stage dancing around, Hannah Hatay, and Dominic and Anthony and Garrett were all on stage dancing and enjoying it. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to stick with Where My Heart Will Take Me. Yes, the pictures on the cupcakes. I think I still have my picture on the little toothpick somewhere. Yeah, the 7th rule is amazing. They are so generous. They are absolutely incredibly generous with everything. So, okay. Moving my notebook out of the way. I actually remembered it, but my desk is a little discombobulated because I lost my keyboard tray. One second. Okay. So sorry, I really wanted to answer that text because it was from Dave Zappone of 455 Films, and he is somebody that I'm trying to get on the show this year. Because I mean, obviously I'm going to save talking about my own show for the last. So what does the NX7062 have in store for 2024? And ooh, look, that rhymes. Okay, so what does it have in store? Well, like I said, definitely more behind the scenes kind of stuff. Having Dave on to talk about all the documentaries that he shot, hopefully giving us some insight into the Voyager doc, whatever he can share with us. Maybe even spill a little tea about the upcoming Enterprise documentary. So I would love to have him on. So I'm going to chase him down. I've spoken with Gary Graham. So Gary is definitely on the list. Also spoken with Jonathan Del Arco. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can talk him into doing live. So be on the lookout, follow the socials and here, because I don't know, since we're in the very early planning stages and I don't have a recording date set with him yet. Just keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and I will let you know as soon as I have a date for Jonathan Del Arco. So if it is going to be taped, you guys will all just have to submit your fan questions to me through socials or email, and I'll get them to him, and then I'll just have to tape the interview and then just show it on Monday night. I really hate doing that. I love the live stuff. We obviously all have so much fun when we do live, but if it's a choice between taping or nothing, of course I'm going to take taping. Trying to get Sirach on too. I'd love to get him to come on before the Lappy Awards so that we can talk about Virtual TrekCon 5 if you guys have any questions, and see, if what's going on with that. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, any other guests. Of course, you know that I promised you guys that I was going to have Erica LaRose on from the Shuttle Pod show at some point, and you know that I will. It's just a matter of getting schedules set up, schedule meshing, which is something that the Shuttle Pod show and I think every Star Trek podcast, I think some people get it and some people don't. When it comes to guests, it's a lot of times it's not for lack of trying, it's for lack of schedule meshing, for lack of a better term. It's just if the schedule doesn't work, it can't happen. So, it's sad. It's really it's difficult and it's disappointing. I don't like disappointing my fans, or myself, because I love doing the live interviews with people. So when somebody can't come on, Erica or whomever it is, when they can't come on because of scheduling, it's just sad, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just won't happen, as quickly maybe as some of us want. Like, I would have loved to have Gary Graham on by now, but I promised him that he could come on when he wanted to talk about Sons of Kirk. They're releasing a CD, so he wanted to wait. Also might have been talking to Anthony Montgomery, so I'm hoping once his schedule loosens up a little bit, we can have Anthony on the show, which would be fantastic. He's such a sweetheart, and I love the fact that he's a musician as well. He's a musician and he does his graphic novels, and I want to have him on to talk about everything besides Mayweather, and everything that he's doing, because he's just such a multifaceted Renaissance man. And I love STLV because I love getting to see him every year and catch up with him. Also, plans to try and get more of the Orville cast on. I don't think you guys will have any problems if I reach out to some of my Orville friends, and see if I can get some Orville people on, with the help of the one and only Peter Macon, who I need to bother about that. But yeah, that's my okay, so here I need a show of hands. Hey, Faith. Oh, well, you know what? I'm so glad that in your exhaustion you popped by for a moment. All right, so I have a question for you, and this is why I'm really glad I'm like actually multitasking. So Dave Zappone from Faith has been jumping around, huh? Dave Zappone from 455 Films. He is fantastic. We spent STLV sitting next to each other when I was working with the Shuttle Pod show. He doesn't think that anybody would want him to come on the show to talk about all the cool stuff that he's doing with all the documentaries. And I personally think that you guys would love to talk to him and pick his brain about the documentaries and the process that he goes through, because that's a lot of what this show's about, right? It's not just about the cool actors who are cool. It's about everything that Star Trek is made of. So, yeah, I think so. Hurry up. See, I don't do YouTube. I don't do YouTube directly, so I don't think I can. In fact, I'm sure I cannot put a poll in here. Otherwise, I would. But guys, just by a show of hands, because I think he's out in California, so I don't think he's going to bed right now. That's right. Dave's in all the cool places, and he finishes at the coolest, because I think I'm the last one of the night, so he finishes in the coolest place possible. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys would really enjoy talking to Dave. So hurry up. Let me see a show of hands. Is he bonkers? Of course, we'd love having him on. Dave, you are the best. You are the best. Hold on one second. All right, hold on. You're the best. Watch this. You guys are awesome. Having him on. All right. You know what the coolest thing is? If you guys have PCs and Android phones, there's this really cool phone syncing app that I can actually text people. I know it's all over iPod, or Apple has it. But it's really cool that I found one that works in Windows for my Samsung phone. Oh my, he started with me on a Firefly chat. Who did? Gets a lot cooler when you're on. Okay, there you go. Travis, definitely. Yep. You guys are really cool that you're letting me conduct business in the middle of my show. You guys are awesome. So this is what we actually did this to him in Vegas, because we were teasing him about an Enterprise documentary, and I got the Shuttlepod show to take a poll during one of their live things, and I turned around to Dave and I'm like, "Would you like to know what the Enterprise what the poll was for the Enterprise documentary, in case you had any thoughts that people didn't want an Enterprise documentary?" So I literally, Dave, you were awesome. I totally told him that you said he'd be asked him if he was bonkers. I cut to the chase, and we'll call people bonkers. Self-depreciating is one thing, but get his arse on here. I love that. You know what? I should go back when this is all over and just send him the clip from right now, from like the 41-minute mark, and be like, look, Dave, see this. Oh, see, Travis, yeah, I multitask now. I have found relatively recently, I don't like to just sit and do one thing. I sit and do many things. Unless I'm working. Obviously, if I'm working, I'm working. But if I'm not working, I can't just sit and watch TV anymore. I have to be doing something. I don't know. I don't know if it has something to do with getting old. I don't know. But so that pretty much covers, like I said, I'm just trying to fill up my guest list, and other topics. And as I've mentioned before, if you join me on Patreon, you can help pick topics, because I will let you into the super secret Facebook page that is called, get this, the NX7062 at Pajem. Pre-Andorians blowing it up. And if you become a patron, then you have access to that. And you can help me pick topics and suggest guests, and such. So I would love to hear ideas for upcoming shows. As you know, I am a one-woman show, and I love being a one-woman show. It's just sometimes this one-woman show means that if I'm not here, it doesn't necessarily happen. Like I said, I haven't figured out what I want to do for next week yet. If I just want to tape something, or like road trip. I think you guys were all voting for I think you guys were voting for the road trip. So I don't know. Depending, if I'm on the road at 10 o'clock on Monday, I might just pop in. On YouTube driving and say hi to everybody. Dave Zappone said, "Wow, okay." So thanks, Dave Gregory. He's really oh, there you go, watching the national championship. That's awesome, Travis. Yeah, because you can watch the national championship muted. So yeah, absolutely. I love that. So thanks, Dave. I think you just pushed Dave over the push Dave into coming on the show. So yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, I'm fascinated by filmmaking. I think you guys all know that I've done background work. So when I do background work, you know, I you know, it's not huge, but you do definitely get to see the other side of things, and it's so interesting. I love it. And my favorite thing too is, because, as most of you know, they shoot TV shows out of order. So it's just really cool if you do something and they shoot it all out of order. And then, like Law and Order, I was actually in an episode of Law and Order. Was it Law and Order? Wait, I'm trying to think. It was Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I've done both. I think it was Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And I was sitting in the gallery, and I actually showed up when I watched myself on TV. But it's so cool, because you're like, all right, so that's the scene. So where does it come up in the story? And then I got to see it. It was really cool. It was like, I think it was one. I don't remember when it was. It was a few years back, but it was a lot of fun. I miss doing it. I just don't have time to do background work anymore, because it's usually weekdays in New York. And if you have a full-time job and you live in South Jersey, you really can't do it. But it's so much. And I have got the perfect car. Sometimes they want people with cars. which is awesome because then you don't have to worry about parking in New York City. So it's totally awesome. But I have this great black Mustang that would look really good on camera, and I don't have time to do background work. I just find it, like I said, I just find it really fascinating. I think it's pretty cool. I'm just depressed at the national championship. Like, I can't believe Penn State lost their bowl game. I'm so disappointed that Penn State lost their bowl game because we were doing really, really well. But you know what? There's always next year, and Penn State's got a great team. So I can't wait till next year. Can't believe the Super Bowl. I can't believe we're already at football playoffs. I actually asked my Amazon device today when daylight savings time starts, and it's, you know, just over 2 months from now. It's March 10th. So as of January 10th, it's going to be 2 months, and we get to spring ahead. And I can't freaking wait. Sorry, one of my cats is making noise on the other side of the screen. But that about yes, I know. I can't believe it. I'm glad. I mean, I know it used to be later. What I really would like is for it to just go daylight savings time and then not go back. That would be my ideal. I can't stand that it gets dark at 4:30. It was December 21st is one of my favorite days of the year because it's the shortest day. So that means that the day after starts getting longer. Yeah, nobody likes daylight savings time. I want it to be permanent. I don't want standard time to be permanent. I want more daylight. I'd like daylight savings time to be permanent. And I know they're working on it. I know they're working on like shutting it off. They just haven't yet. Who cares about normal? Poor dog. I don't care about normal. I want more daylight. I don't care about normal. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So Dave said we can talk next week. So it looks like we're going to be scheduling something for Dave next week. Korea doesn't do it, and for 8 years, and yeah, exactly, Faith, you were fine without it. So daylight savings time messes up my work, our systems. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. Time gets out of whack. Time gets out of whack. So yeah, and it's not healthy, and I know that it's not healthy. It's absolutely not healthy. I'll tell him. Yeah, he just told me what he's got going on this week, and it's an incredibly busy week, and I'm incredibly jealous. He's got interviews with Trek people and dinner with Trek people, and yeah. But hey, listen, he's fitting me into his schedule next week, and it works for me. So, all right, guys, I think unless you guys have any final comments on anything that is happening in 2024, don't forget, find me on Patreon and you will get access to Pajem, to the NX 7062 at Pajem on Facebook, where it is the perfect place to make suggestions and talk with other patrons and decide. The other thing is I know some people don't use Facebook. But I would know who you are. So if you wanted to just email me at Stephanie at the NX7062.com, then you could make suggestions that way, and I would know that you're a Patreon member, or you can just message me through Patreon if you so choose, if you use the chat feature in Patreon. So guys, listen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Before I go, the other thing I want to remind you is to buy JG's book. That is the link to his Amazon. If you want your very own autographed copy, I will be sharing those links on my page and some other pages. So be on the lookout for that. That is the Amazon link. But outside of Amazon, if you want to buy it directly from JG, he will autograph it for you. And there's a place, I set up the Square. It's on Square. When you go to check out, there's a note section, and all you need to do is fill in the note section with whatever you'd like him to autograph it with. And there you go. Robert, good night. War Dog, you're just gonna have to we're just gonna have to figure out how to get you an autographed copy then. I can't wait to start reading it. I just got it. I want to sit down probably this weekend and start it. I really can't wait. All right, guys. Thank you so much for holding I'm holding for an autographed copy. Perfect. Thanks. All right, Dave, I'll get you the link. I gotta get into another program, but I will get you the link. I promised. I promise. So, guys, thanks as always for hanging out with me. Don't know what's going to be happening next week. We'll figure it out. You'll know as soon as I know, but make sure I see at least some of you in the chats on Trek Talks Live this Saturday, January 13th. Head over to trektalks.net. Ooh. Head over to trektalks.net for information on how and when to watch on Saturday. And as always, guys, until next week, please make sure to live long and prosper.
This is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie.